I was recently able to introduce you to a Power Rangers team that I created, and this is just fan-made, not an official franchise team. I think all of us have had many ideas of what an ideal team would look like and all the powers, styles, costumes and weapons this team would have. Thanks to the new artificial intelligence technology we have now, we can create anything we can imagine, so I decided to create a team based on the elements of nature. For those who did not see the previous video, I am going to introduce the team, and at the end of the video you will meet the 6th Ranger. This team only has 4 members, and the 6th Ranger would be the 5th member, but remember that in the Power Rangers franchise the 6th Ranger is not always the 6th member. We'll start with the Blue Ranger, the leader of this team, who uses the water element, but normally he will use it in the form of ice or snow. His main weapon is an ice axe, and this Ranger also has the power to control water in any of its forms. He is a very intelligent Ranger, and his best talent is to create strategies. We'll continue with the Green Ranger, which uses the earth element, and this is going to be a wild Ranger that will dominate the entire jungle. His main weapon is a magic hammer with which he can break any rock, create earthquakes and protect him from any spell. Next is the Red Ranger, which uses the fire element. This Ranger does not burn anything, heat does not affect him, and he has the power to throw fire and volcanic lava. His main weapon is a fire sword that can cut anything, and his personality is to be a very reserved Ranger because he gets angry easily. The last Ranger is the Yellow Ranger, and she is the small change because instead of using the air element, I decided to make this Ranger use energy. This Ranger always lives in the big cities, and you can mistake her for anyone, but she really has the power to control electrical energy, including thunder. Her main weapon is a futuristic gun that simply works to channel all the energy and direct it to a specific point. His personality is very cheerful, he talks a lot and never gets tired. His costume has a more futuristic style due to the fact that he comes from the future, but since the right technology doesn't exist in this era, he couldn't go back to his real time. These 4 Rangers are very different in everything, but because the Blue Ranger is a great leader, they will form an excellent team. With the elements fire, water, energy, and earth, this team will be called Power Rangers Elemental Force. This new team is led by a powerful space warrior named Kairos, who was born on the same day as the birth of the universe and has more power than the Morphin Masters. His power comes from the Morphin grid, and because he was the first to connect to the grid, his power is pure. His name means Master. He has no male or female gender, although his appearance seems masculine. He has a powerful staff that connects him directly to the grid, and if he does not have it, then he begins to die slowly because his power is what keeps him alive for eternity. Thousands of years ago, Kairos was the defender of the universe, but after so many battles, his body is very weak. That is why the grid has given him this staff so that he can guide others and help them defeat those who want to destroy the planets. When the universe was created, the power of good was formed, but at the same time the power of evil was formed. One of these evil powers was hidden for thousands of years, and not even Kairos himself was aware of this power. After all those years, this evil power spawned a very powerful sorcerer who has the ability to destroy the Morphin grid if he manages to feed his power for several more years. The name of this villain is Zarnak, which means God of Evil, and this villain will never be able to be transformed into a good being since he comes from the pure evil of the universe. Zarnak feeds on energy, and that is why he always tries to destroy the planets as they have a lot of energy in their core. This evil sorcerer has discovered that when a planet has inhabitants, then the core has more energy, and this is why he now wants to destroy the Earth. Kairos wants to stop Zarnak before he destroys the Earth and before he learns about the Morphin grid, the largest energy source in the universe. Hundreds of years ago there were crystals buried in different parts of the planet that used the power of the natural elements of the planet and could create a connection with the grid for a team of humans to use this power. This is how the Power Rangers were created, but this had not happened hundreds of years ago, and no human being today knew of these powers. Kairos found the 4 crystals that formed the Ice, Fire, Electricity and Earth Rangers, but an additional crystal was still missing. Because of Kairos' connection to the grid, he was able to find the crystal easily, but he noticed something very strange. This crystal was buried in a very old temple and was still connected to the ranger who carried this power. The gold crystal controlled the 4 elements and the ranger who had used it was born hundreds of years ago. This ranger did not know of the existence of the other crystals, and with his power he could control all the elements by channeling all that power through his staff. The Golden Ranger managed to defeat all the enemies of his time and developed peace on the entire planet. One day the Morphin Masters appeared to him and told him that he should take a long rest in order to help the Rangers in the future to defeat a very powerful villain. The Morphin Masters helped him so that the gold crystal would keep him alive all this time, and now Kairos has found him. The Golden Ranger joins the Power Rangers Elemental Force team to be the 6th Ranger despite being the 5th member of the team. Kairos has created a command center with highly advanced technology that comes from other planets and has hidden this base at the North Pole so that it can be camouflaged in the snow. In this command center the Rangers will have everything they need to protect themselves and also to live there if they need to. The Rangers will use a morpher which will have a piece of the crystal of each Ranger in the center, and this morpher will help them to transform, but also to teleport and communicate. Because the threats are sometimes gigantic, the Rangers have their Zords, which are giant fighting machines. These powerful robots also use the power of the elements, and each one connects to the Ranger who has the crystal. The Blue Ranger has this giant blue robot that can use ice, water, and snow. This Zord lives in cold places and is the Zord that is closest to the command center. The Red Ranger Zord can control fire and lava, that's why it lives inside a volcano. This Zord is made of the most powerful metal as it must withstand high temperatures and is basically almost indestructible. The Yellow Ranger Zord is made with the best technology in the universe and can accomplish amazing things. It is basically a supercomputer with a warrior's body and also controls electricity. The Green Ranger Zord lives in the jungle. It is a very wild robot and is the strongest robot in existence. It has the ability to move very heavy things and can also dig very deep. The 6th Ranger Zord has an ancient civilization style and is the fastest Zord. Like the Gold Ranger, this Zord can control all 4 elements and lives in Latin America. Do you think the Power Rangers Elemental Force team can stop Zarnak? Write in the comments your answer, like this video and subscribe to defeat Zarnak with the Power Rangers.